Live from the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News. It's Monday, October 13th. We have all you need to know about charges against a former Penn State football player, as well as more on a new housing project coming to downtown State College.
We also have the latest information on flooding evacuations in Colorado, along with sports, entertainment, weather, and an interview. Stay tuned. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Christian Audia.
And I'm Cailey Thalman. Former Penn State football player Julian Fleming has been charged with vehicular homicide. In May, Fleming was driving an ATV with his girlfriend when he collided with a deer that jumped into the roadway. Police say Fleming was driving at a speed of 30 to 40 miles per hour, and neither passenger was wearing safety equipment. Both were ejected from the ATV. Fleming's girlfriend was pronounced dead at the scene, and Fleming was taken to a hospital to be treated for serious injuries. Fleming admitted to police that he was driving under the influence of alcohol and had a blood alcohol content of 0.118. He is charged with felony counts of homicide by vehicle by DUI, homicide by vehicle, aggravated assault while DUI, and aggravated assault. Fleming was arraigned on Wednesday.
Gregg Township has been reimbursed for nearly all the money stolen by a former employee. The township received an insurance payment of more than $528,000, covering almost all of its losses from years of theft by former Secretary Pamela Hackenberg. She pleaded guilty to stealing township funds for gambling, vacations, and personal expenses, and was sentenced to at least 2 years in prison with more than $615,000 in restitution. Township officials say new oversight policies are now in place, while Hackenberg faces additional theft charges in a separate case in Union County.
Construction will begin soon on a condominium hotel in State College. This is the first of its kind in a college market. Members of the community, project developers, and local leaders celebrated the groundbreaking for the Nittany Residence Club on Friday. This project is a planned 9-story, 70-unit building at the corner of South Atherton Street and West Beaver Avenue. The building offers 1 to 3 bedroom luxury units to individuals who can use them as part-time or vacation homes, but not permanent residences. When the owner is not there, the bedroom becomes available as a hotel room, with the owner receiving income and a percentage going to the hotel operator. The project is slated for completion in 2027.
Habitat for Humanity of Greater Center County is breaking new ground with Pennsylvania's first 3D printed home. The project in Boalsburg will use a concrete printer to build the home's exterior walls as part of a partnership with local tech company XHAB 3D and the Center County Housing and Land Trust. The goal is to make housing more affordable and sustainable as construction costs continue to rise. Habitat leaders say volunteers are still needed to help finish the home, which is expected to be completed by early next summer. If you've been in State College recently, you know it's been getting very cold as we transition into fall. But now live in studio, we have student meteorologist Jonathan Domo with the latest in this week's forecast. Jonathan?
You're absolutely right, Christian. If you went outside at all today, you noticed that the temperatures have been significantly lower than we've been experiencing recently. Just 7 days ago, last Monday, we were looking at temperatures in the mid-80s here in State College, and right now we have State College checking in at 54 degrees. If we take a look to the southeast down by Philly, we're not much higher, 58 degrees. And if we look to the west, we can find our high spot on the map, 64 degrees in Pittsburgh, but a much, much lower temperature profile than we've been used to seeing for the start of this fall. Now, I want to take a look at some of the past action that we were seeing. If you walked out the door anytime between 8 a.m. and noon today, you probably felt a few raindrops, might have even needed the rain jacket, but that is all set to move out here through the beginning of tomorrow. You can see most of that rain is going to be situated over Boston and the rest of New England. But by the end of Tuesday, you can see most of the rain has subsided, and we are looking nice and clear here as Tuesday turns into Wednesday here in Pennsylvania. We might get clipped by a shower midday on Wednesday, but other than that, you do not need the rain jacket or the umbrella through the rest of Wednesday. However, we are going to jump ahead to the weekend when we can see a cold front bringing in some rain. The onset of that rain will be sometime Saturday night into Sunday morning here, and you got to keep in mind that this is over a week out. Right now, the models are in agreement of rain here in Pennsylvania, but we're not exactly sure about the timing or how much rain rather that we can see. But we do know that the rain is going to push out to our east by the beginning of Monday. So we're going to start out Monday a little bit clear, but there is also a chance for some rain showers later in the day on Monday. Let's take a live look out at the Penn State Arboretum. The sun has set, and we can still see some clouds in the sky right now, 54 degrees. We are currently below average for this time of year after weeks upon weeks of being above average. Average right now is around 60 degrees here, and we are 6 degrees below that. It's a little bit breezy out there, 6 miles per hour out of the east-northeast. Now let's take a look at how the temperatures are going to stack up for the rest of the week. We're actually going to cool down here. Conditions are going to cool down to the warm up rather. They're going to warm up to the upper 60s here on Tuesday before taking a step back on Wednesday, 63 degrees. We're going to hit the low for the week on Thursday, 61 degrees, before we take a step in the right direction here towards warmth, 62 degrees, before we explode into the 70s on Saturday. You can see the only light color here is going to be on Saturday. It's going to be a not so nice weekend rain-wise, but temperature-wise, if you're not a fan of the cold, well, there is some relief on the way. But looking a little bit closer now for tonight, 49 degrees with some showers early, but those will be clearing up for tomorrow. We're looking at right now mid-60s here, almost 70 in State College, partly cloudy. The wind will pick up to 10 miles per hour, so you're definitely going to want to have a couple of layers on if the wind is going to bother you. And here's a look at the 7-day. You can see that warming trend is very short-lived here as we take a step back on Wednesday. We're going to be sunny and mostly sunny to end out the week before we warm up and the clouds start to move in on Saturday, and that's when the showers start to begin on Sunday. And we're going to cool all the way down below 60 on Monday when we can see those morning showers making their way through. Christian?
Thanks, Jonathan. Now over to Kennedy with the latest in the world of sports.
Thanks, Christian. I'm Kennedy Rivers with your sports update. Penn State football has had a rough weekend following the 22-21 loss against Northwestern. On Sunday, Penn State Athletics announced the firing of head coach James Franklin. Franklin has been at Penn State for 12 years, and since its arrival in 2014, Penn State has gone 4-21 against top 10 opponents. Franklin's contract was set to run through the 2031 season, but with 3 back-to-back losses, 2 of which were against unranked teams, it was time for Franklin to go. Franklin's buyout is estimated to be over $48 million. As the Nittany Lions continue their search for new leadership, associate head coach Terry Smith will take over as interim head coach. Things go from bad to worse for the Nittany Lions as starting quarterback Drew Aller suffers a season-ending injury. In the final minutes of the Northwestern game, Aller went down with an ankle injury. He was then carted off, and Franklin announced he would be out for the remainder of the season. Unfortunately, this puts an end to Aller's college career. So what's next for the Nittany Lions? Redshirt freshman Ethan Grunkemeyer will start as quarterback. Grunkemeyer was ranked 8th in his recruiting class and has taken a few snaps this season. He will have his first career start on Saturday as the Nittany Lions will go on the road to face the Iowa Hawkeyes. It's definitely been a tough season for Penn State football, and fans are feeling frustrated. Reporter Carly Minech spoke with the fans about the reaction.
Thanks, Kennedy. After an unprecedented loss to UCLA, Happy Valley took quite an unhappy turn. Penn State football fans voiced their strong disappointment and lack of confidence in the program. We took to the street to get some firsthand opinions.
Penn State fans, alumni, and students are frustrated with the poor performance of our typically high-achieving football program. After a devastating whiteout loss to the Oregon Ducks, Penn State looked to bounce back into the win column to gain some much-needed momentum on the road against the UCLA Bruins. However, the UCLA Bruins had a different plan.
Today I'm in downtown State College for Penn State's homecoming weekend, surrounded by some excited yet angry fans. Let's hear their opinions about Penn State's recent performance.
Honestly, coming into the season as a top 5 team, I'm really disappointed. It all starts with coaching. He's one, supposed to set an example, and honestly, the product on the field is invisible, in my opinion.
I've been coming to Penn State like as long as I can remember. Ever since I was like a baby toddler, like I've just grown up coming here with my family and I love it so much.
That's great. So, how are you feeling about Penn State's football performance the past 2 weeks?
Yeah, as a football fan, like I was really disappointed, especially like I really thought this was going to be the year. Like they've been hyping it up so much, especially Drew Aller. I thought his comeback was going to be good, although the defense just really was struggling this past few weeks. And even the offense didn't kick it in until later. And I'm just really disappointed, and I'm expecting them to do better in the future.
Fans even traveled to State College this past weekend for the matchup between the Nittany Lions and the Northwestern Wildcats in hopes of a much-needed win. Happy Valley is now looking more like Unhappy Valley, with thousands of disappointed and angry fans.
Now, in the wake of their third straight loss and the firing of head coach James Franklin, it is unclear what the future holds for this program. Back to you, Kennedy.
Thanks, Carly. In national news, last night we saw a post-game brawl at Arrowhead Stadium where the Detroit Lions took on the Kansas City Chiefs. It was a long, hard-fought night for the Lions, but they ended up falling 30-17 to the Chiefs. After the game, Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes attempted to high-five safety Brian Branch. Branch ignored Mahomes, and wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster exchanged a few words with Branch. Branch responded by hitting Juju in the face mask and sending him to the ground. This wasn't Branch's first offense of the season, as last month against Green Bay Packers, he racked up over $23,000 in penalties. Branch is suspended for 1 game without pay. Moving on to some baseball news, on Friday, the Detroit Tigers and the Seattle Mariners set the MLB record with the longest winning all-time game with 15 innings. The Mariners came out on top with a score of 3-2. On Sunday, the ALCS began with the Mariners versus the Blue Jays in Toronto. George Springer had a leadoff home run for the Blue Jays, but now the Mariners did not allow another run for the remainder of the game. Game 1 ended with a final score of 3-1. Game 2 is heading into the 8th inning, and the Mariners have a commanding lead. That's all for your sports update. After the break, Anna Knight has the latest in the world of entertainment. Stay tuned.
Live from the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News.
Penn State Network News is a student-produced, bi-weekly live news show featuring all student talent.
From local and national news to sports, entertainment, weather, and live interviews, we have it all.
We also feature student-made packages from across campus.
Airing every Monday and Wednesday at 7 p.m.
We are PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Anna Knight with your entertainment update. The Dancing with the Stars Tour is making a return to State College this coming year. This event will be held in the Bryce Jordan Center on Wednesday, February 4th, with many returning pros, including Jenna Johnson, Brandon Armstrong, and Ezra Sosa. While general public sale went live on October 10th at 10 a.m., there are still chances to get tickets on the resale market, and it's recommended to continue to check Ticketmaster. Looking for a fun midweek event? This Wednesday from 5:30 to 8:30, the Penn State Hotel and Conference Center is hosting a trivia night called Battle of the Minds. There's also a heads or tails game, a delicious dinner and refreshments, along with an online auction where you can bid on items and experiences. This event is also an opportunity to support center volunteers in medicine. Penn State's homecoming parade tradition first started in 1922. Over 100 years later, the parade still draws Penn State fans from around the country. Reporter Lily McAfee is live in the studio with a recap of this year's parade. Lily?
Thanks, Anna. On Friday, I had the chance to see the 2025 homecoming parade. The streets were packed with many generations of Penn State fans. Let's take a look.
Penn State is known for many things. To most from an outside perspective, it's known for its football, philanthropy, or stellar education. But to those who really know the university, it's mainly known for the tradition and culture we possess.
Families, alumni, and students from all generations gather downtown today to celebrate Penn State's homecoming with the annual Homecoming Parade.
Homecoming is a special time of year where Penn State fans from all over gather to celebrate those two attributes. The parade gives Penn Staters a fun opportunity to gather and watch all the things that make Penn State what it is. Homecoming embodies what Penn State means to so many. It's one of our traditions, a thread connecting generations through shared experiences, football Saturdays, and a spirit that endures long after graduation.
State means so much to me and my family. My kids didn't go here. I went here. My dad worked here. My sisters worked here. It's just like coming home. No matter where you're at, it's coming home. Homecoming makes that come through even more. I don't come to homecoming that often, but I come for the floats because I think that's the biggest deal about the parade. But I hope everybody enjoys their time, and we are Penn State.
Homecoming means more than a return to campus. It's truly a celebration of family and tradition. As floats glide through campus and the streets fill with generations of Penn Staters, the weekend becomes a living reminder of what binds them together: pride, history, and a shared sense of home.
If you weren't able to make it out to the parade, you can still catch all the energy from the live stream on the Penn State Homecoming website. The parade live stream still highlights the pride, spirit, and connection that brings our Penn State family together year after year. Back to you, Anna.
Thanks, Lily. American actress Diane Keaton passed at age 79 this past Saturday. Known for her roles in Father of the Bride, The Godfather, and The First Wives Club, Keaton became a very decorated actress, receiving an Oscar, a BAFTA, and 2 Golden Globes. In the last couple months of her life, she decided to keep her health issues private and was surrounded by family in her passing. She will truly be missed by many. Recently, fans have been speculating about the health of American singer-songwriter and actress Dolly Parton. Parton said that her problems are linked to her husband Carl Dean's death in March when she put aside her own health. She announced that she had to cancel some treatments during that time, but has since gotten them. She assures fans through the statement, "I don't think God is through with me, and I ain't done working." That's all for your entertainment update. Coming up next, interview anchor Quinn O'Leary will be speaking with Zach Miller, a Souls for Souls volunteer. Stay tuned.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning into this edition of Penn State Sports Night.
For all of us here at the Belisari Media Center, we are
Penn State Sports Night.
Ready, mics? 3, 2, fade in on 2, mic and cue.
This is Nittany Talk.
I would say spring.
Slow down.
And he knew that. How do you say
I know.
She continues to hold her values and everything though. And I think that that's really important. So yeah, self-care Saturday.
And you lose a lot of sleep.
Yes, agreed. Yeah.
Live from the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News.
Penn State Network News is a student-produced, bi-weekly live news show featuring all student talent.
From local and national news to sports, entertainment, weather, and live interviews, we have it all.
We also feature student-made packages from across campus.
Airing every Monday and Wednesday at 7 p.m.
We are PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State.
Hey everyone, welcome to Culture Central. My name is Jaden Stewart.
What's good, everybody? My name is Eric Pichardo, and we are your hosts,
creators,
and executive producers of Culture Central. Is this Whitney Houston?
We're doing things that have never been done before, so welcome to the family.
Hey everyone, we are Red Carpet News, your main source of entertainment news at Penn State University.
Man, this festival is going to be popping.
I'm Alex Porzillo, here with Aiden Harold. He's going to 23rd with Daddy Elon Warbucks, the actual space away from Kim.
So in sync, especially during Kendrick's part when they came out, reporting on anything from music, movies, TV shows, fashion, to celebrity gossip. You don't want to miss out on any of the hot topics we discuss.
Find our segments on YouTube under the name Red Carpet News for your daily dose of entertainment.
We are Red Carpet News.
If you don't include human beings, you cannot accurately model the way the climate has changed over the last 50 years.
And I don't know that we're ever going to be free of some sort of bug.
A natural state of motion for something to be in is to remain in its current state of motion.
Been lucky enough to discover various things out there. Pulsars, exoplanets, and some other phenomena that ended up being interesting.
Hi, I'm Johnson Gary with Asking Penn State.
What if Asking Penn State? Asking Penn State.
Asking Penn State. Asking Penn State.
Welcome back to Asking Penn State.
At 12 years old, Zach Miller laced up his sneakers and went for a walk. But he didn't head to the park. No, he took a walk in someone else's shoes. Now a freshman at Penn State University, his trek hasn't stopped. Miles later, he's collected over 50,000 pairs of shoes for people in need through national nonprofit Souls for Souls. Zach, welcome to PSN News. I'm looking forward to our conversation today.
Thanks for having me, Quinn.
Okay, before we get started, can you tell me what Souls for Souls actually is?
Yeah, so Souls for Souls is a global nonprofit that collects new and gently used shoes for people in places like Haiti, Honduras, and parts of Africa, with the main goal to help end the cycle of poverty.
That's an amazing organization. Now, take me back to where it all started. What prompted you to start collecting shoes in the first place?
Yeah, so I was about 8. My mom showed me this video on the Souls for Souls website. In it, there were kids walking across the streets, dirt and debris, no socks or shoes. And I thought to myself, like, how is this fair? I played lacrosse at the time, so I had cleats, I had flip-flops, normal sneakers, and these kids didn't even have one pair of shoes. So I decided that, I'm gonna do something about this. I'm gonna make a difference. So eventually the Zachary Miller 25K shoe drive was born.
Wow, so this is definitely a movement fueled by passion, fueled by positivity.
Mm-hmm.
So you collect these shoes. Where do they actually go to when you donate them?
Yeah, so the shoes that I collect go to Souls for Souls' micro enterprise program. This means that when the shoes are sent to these developing nations, Souls for Souls teaches these people how to have their own businesses with the shoes. This helps them, make money so they can provide for their kids food, clothes, housing, education. And, as I said before, that helps really end the cycle of poverty.
Wow, so the work you're doing really does pay off in dividends, it seems like. So you set this goal of 25,000, and then it turned into a goal of 50,000. Can you walk me through how that number changed in the first place?
Yeah, so originally when I set out to collect 25,000, Souls for Souls was backing me the whole way. And, it was like, oh yeah, I'll hit this 25,000 and then, maybe I'll be done. But I got there and I was like, it wasn't really a question of, is this over? It was just, I'm just going to keep doing this. 25,000 pairs of shoes is the same as the whole year's worth of food, clothes, education for 25 families.
Wow.
So I was like, I can make a tangible difference in these people's lives. And, it wasn't a question. I was just, I'm going to keep doing this.
That's awesome. I mean, there must have been moments where the process felt daunting, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was the force, whether it was you or someone else, that really kept you going throughout all this time?
Yeah, so there's definitely a bunch of late nights in the garage, tying shoes, bagging shoes, hundreds of pairs of shoes in my garage at, all hours of the day. But, it's really my mom. Like, my family's very important to me, but my mom was there through it all. She was my chauffeur to all over New Jersey and talking to all these businesses saying, would you host a shoe box? Would you host a shoe drive? I really wouldn't have been able to do this without her. And, she's my support system. And yeah.
Oh, that is so sweet. So we've been talking, and you just hit this goal of 50,000 pairs of shoes very recently. How does that feel? You've been working for this for a really long time.
It's kind of surreal. It was 10 years ago when I was 8 and I saw that video. 6 years actually collecting shoes. It's just, it's hard to understand. It's just 50,000 is such like a huge number, and just like pairs of shoes. And I don't know, I'm kind of at a loss for words.
Probably
but
speechless, probably hard to fathom because
Yeah.
it made such a difference to all the work you've been doing.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, so you've reached your goal. You're here at Penn State. You're a freshman. I'm sure you're busy taking classes, getting that major. What's next? What are you doing now?
I really like to bring it here to school. Like, I don't know if there's a Souls for Souls club here, but I'd love to, get a shoe drive going. We have so many people here that, fortunately, a lot of people do have an extra pair of shoes. And, it's something that you can just go and say, hey, I don't wear these anymore. Let's donate them to and make a difference.
And then throughout this whole process, I'm sure you've had so many people help you throughout because you didn't collect 25 of your own pairs of shoes.
No, I
I'm
did
sure
not.
lots of people donated to it. What do you think motivated them to donate to your cause?
It's something that a lot of people have, and a lot of people are willing to say, oh yeah, I have all these other shoes. Like I don't need them. And just support of seeing like, hey, there's a kid doing this. Like, why am I not helping? Is a big driving force for people to want to help.
Well said. To wrap it up, if 12-year-old Zach were sitting in front of us right now, right where it all started, what would you tell him?
That's a good one, actually. I'd say, it's going to be a lot of work at sometimes, but the payoff is so worth it. Like, you're making a difference in these people's lives. And, a lot of people going through their daily life, it's easy to forget about the bigger issues in the world. And, it's something that helps us stay grounded.
Nice. Zach, thank you so much for joining us today and telling us about your journey with Souls for Souls. And now stick around because coming up next, Cailey and Christian will have the latest news from across the nation.
Ready, mics? 3, 2. Fade in on 2. Mike and Q.
This is Nittany Talk.
I would say spring.
Slow down.
And he knew that. How do you think? I know. She continues to hold her values and everything though. And I think that that's really important. So yeah, and self-care Saturday.
And you lose a lot of sleep.
Yes, agreed. Yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome to Culture Central. My name is Jaden Stewart,
What's good, everybody? My name is Eric Pichardo, and we are your hosts
creators
and executive producers of Culture Central. Is this Whitney Houston?
We're doing things that have never been done before. So welcome to the family.
If you don't include human beings, you cannot accurately model the way the climate has changed over the last 50 years.
And I don't know that we're ever going to be free of some sort of bug.
That the natural state of motion for something to be in is to remain in its current state of motion.
Been lucky enough to discover various things out there. Pulsars, exoplanets, and some other phenomena that ended up being interesting.
Hi, I'm Johnson Gary with Asking Penn State.
With Asking Penn State, the Asking Penn State.
Asking Penn State. Asking Penn State.
Welcome back to Asking Penn State.
An explosion in rural Tennessee that leveled an explosive plant and was felt for miles killed 16 people and left no survivors. The blast left a wreck of charred metal and burned out vehicles at the Accurate Energetic Systems plant, which supplies and researches explosives for the military. The cause of the explosion is unknown. Humphreys County Sheriff Chris Davis said about 300 responders are working to deal with explosive material that is damaged and remains volatile. Explosive specialists and bomb technicians are working to make sure the area is safe for investigators. Davis said it could be days, weeks, or even months before foul play is ruled out.
A helicopter crashed near Huntington Beach, California, after spinning out of control mid-air Saturday afternoon. Video shows the aircraft spiraling before slamming into a row of palm trees near the Pacific Coast Highway. 5 people were hospitalized, including 2 who were inside the helicopter and safely pulled from the wreckage. 3 others on the ground were also hurt, though their conditions have not been released. Officials say the helicopter was part of a Cars and Copters fundraising event scheduled for Sunday.
Two shootings occurred in Mississippi on Friday night on opposite sides of the state on state college homecomings, leaving at least 8 people dead and many more injured. 6 were killed in Leland after a high school homecoming football game, and a pregnant woman is one of the others killed on the eastern side of the state. In Leland, about 20 people were injured in the gunfire. No arrests have been announced, and there is currently no information about possible suspects. On the eastern side of Mississippi, a shooting killed 2. Heidelberg Police Chief Cornell White said they have a suspect at large, but declined to say more information about the crimes.
Flooding from the remnants of a tropical storm forced hundreds of evacuations across southwestern Colorado this weekend. Nearly 400 homes were ordered to evacuate along Vallecito Creek, north of Durango, as rising waters overflowed their banks. Crews have been working to protect homes and businesses with sandbags, while evacuees took shelter at a nearby high school. Officials say more heavy rain is expected early next week. The storm's moisture has also brought flooding to parts of southern Utah, along with early snow in Colorado's higher elevations. Now over to Anna with the latest in global news.
Thanks, Christian. I'm Anna LaCastro with your global news update. Earlier today, Hamas released all 20 of the last living hostages, as well as 4 deceased, and Israel released almost 2,000 Palestinian prisoners as part of the breakthrough ceasefire deal in Gaza. This exchange marked a key step towards ending the war, which tallied a death toll of over 67,000. Many questions still remain about the future of the Gaza Strip. The 2-year war has left the territory demolished and famine-stricken. On Sunday, nearly 400 aid trucks entered into Gaza from Egypt, and humanitarian groups have restarted the distribution of food. The Israeli body in charge of humanitarian aid in Gaza said around 600 trucks will soon be entering daily. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky announced today that he will travel to the United States this week for talks about the U.S. potentially providing Ukraine with long-range weapons. Zelensky said a meeting between him and Trump could take place as early as Friday. He added that he also would meet with defense and energy companies and members of Congress. This news comes just a day after Trump warned Russia he may send long-range Tomahawk missiles to Kyiv, which would allow Ukraine to strike deeper into Russian territory. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Anna. That concludes our show tonight at PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State.